advantage of AfCFTA. We organize trainings, seminars, workshops, and we register people to be able to have SMEs, exporters, entrepreneurs, to be able to do international businesses, which you can do with your limited liability companies. And then so far we've had over 2,000 registered exporters with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, meaning that if you have your export license, you'll be able to export out of Nigeria. And then we advocate so much on export because we know that is the only mainstay of the economy for now. And that's why we preach export for survival. We do the campaigns, we do our radio programs to sensitize Nigerians, and that you can attest to on Impact Business Radio in Oyo State, and that is done across the Federation, all the state offices. NEPC has state offices across the states of Nigeria. So we kind of enlighten people on that. And then to further promote trade, we know that when we talk about trade support infrastructure, people will want to find out how can you support that. Yes, we are able to support that because we know that the first and primary thing we should have is quality, standards, and safety. How do we ensure that? A lot of our entrepreneurs, they have businesses, they produce, but majority have that standards and quality measures in place. They lack it. We advocate through the initiative of domestic export warehouses. A lot of them don't have what it takes to have a domestic export warehouse. They just assume that a warehouse is a warehouse. No, it is not like that. When you have a domestic export warehouse, you'll be able to do things in a normal way, and you'll be able to have all the government regulatory agencies come there, get your product certified, have customs to accompany your product, and this issue of port congestion does not arise because your products will be accompanied by a custom officer to the port of destination. So these challenges are removed. And then apart from that, we also do interventions. We promote incentives. We spearhead it. And last year we had the Exports Expansion Facility Program under the Economic Sustainability Plan of the federal government. Grants were given to SMEs to resuscitate their business after the incident of COVID-19. And then afterwards, we also have post-shipment incentives to promote exporters, because we know that a lot of exporters go through a lot of challenges getting their products exported out of the country. So to cushion the effect of the harsh conditions they go through, NEPC gives incentives to Nigerian exporters that have repatriated their proceeds back to the country. And this level of incentive is dependent on the level of your export. Is it a primary product or a secondary product or manufactured product? The percentages differ. So that is another opportunity for exporters to be able to expand their businesses and buy more equipment to support their production. Beyond that, we intervene in various challenges that exporters, Nigerian exporters, might have in the export of their businesses. Quite a lot of time.
I wanted to apologize for interrupting, so I didn't want to miss that. It's a different thing to advocate for export promotion, but the realities of exporters is also not as seamless as you were saying. We find that, for instance, cocoa exporters have, there are many documents, the process of exporting goods out of Nigeria. Yes, it's good that you're promoting trade, but why do we have difficult? Why do we make the process of this making export difficult in the country? Why do we have to get multiple documents, go to different offices? Because it's one thing to advocate for export trade promotion on radio and TV. That's a good thing. But when you get into the business, you find that the reality is difficult. What's happening there?
It is actually not difficult because as Nigerians, we have export policies. So also there are import policies. You want to export
these
your
policies
products,
that I'm referring to.
you want to export your product to US, for instance. US has trade import regulations, which an exporter is supposed to meet. It is not policies made by Nigerians, but policies made by the countries that need the product. When you want to export to a company, to a customer outside Nigeria, you are not only satisfying the customer's needs, you are also satisfying the import regulations of the country of that customer, as well as meeting the export requirements from Nigeria. An example, you want to export cashew from Nigeria. Cashew is food. You want to export cosmetics. It is under NAFDAC, Food and Drug Administration. So you need to have the certification requirements from Nigerian government. Not only having it, you are exporting it to USA. USA has a regulatory agency, just like we have NAFDAC. And the agency is asking for Food and Drug Administration. You need to have it before your product could be allowed into the economy of that country.
Thank you, Mrs. Emmanuel. Dr. Samuel, we understand that there are different kinds of trade barriers. There are tariffs and non-tariff barriers. But looking at one of the plans of the AfCFTA, one of the aims is to eliminate 90% tariffs on 90% of all the goods that would within Africa. And for a country like Nigeria, where the Nigerian customs is a key critical revenue generator, as a matter of fact, the Nigerian customs target for this year is about over 4 trillion naira, which most of it would come from tariffs. How would you advise a government that has, a dwindling revenue and relies or looks to Nigerian customs to generate revenue with our signing and ratification of the AfCFTA? Nigeria wants to generate more revenue because the revenue is dwindling. At the same time, the AfCFTA agreement, signing that agreement means that we are going to eliminate tariffs on 90% of all the goods. How do we manage this?
Just as we all agree, there are challenges. And when we took a census just now, there was an agreement that it's not a start-to-date thing. So those who do the custom policy are also aware of this. And that is where the political will is lacking. Nigeria knows that they are not going to implement that law within this space. That's what it means. That is one. And two, not in the implementation, not in non-implementation of this law. Yes, they may not do it fully, but there are other things they can do to also shore up revenue. 3 basic things. If this source is going out, the next you do, there are alternatives. So what are the alternatives? Enhance your other sources of revenue. Develop alternatives to those sources. And then enforce your sanctions and incentive system with. And I tell you, encompass all those that are supposed to be within the tax net. And you see that revenue issues, it's not supposed to be an issue in Nigeria, but the political will to enforce it, either for political reasons or for leakages, is what the challenge is.
Speaking of political will, we met the former DG of NISA, Dr. Gbadebo Smith, a few years ago, before Nigeria ratified the agreement. And our team member questioned him about Nigeria's stance. And I remember him saying that Nigeria's decision to sign the agreement is based on politics rather than economics, because Nigeria doesn't have the necessary information, data, or models to sign the agreement. He said African nations produce poor country goods. and that Africa is not the buyer of African goods. Aside that, I also read one time Aliko Dangote saying that the agreement will undermine local manufacturers and entrepreneurs and may lead to Nigeria becoming a dumping ground for finished goods. What do you think about the thoughts of these leaders? Are they one of the reasons why we are slow to it?
It's a loaded question, but I will try to pick them one after the other. The first was my former DG, very vibrant man, quite exposed, and doesn't follow the rules of food. He mentioned what? That Nigeria signed based on political ground. But you and I know, on the face of that, Nigeria started a race, trying to implement, they started running back. Challenges, that is one. And two, Nigeria, big as it is, got to that point, got scared. Challenge. And again, let me be blank about why Nigeria signed that agreement. Nigeria signed that agreement purely based on political diplomacy. Because in international trade, international negotiation, you cannot stay out and negotiate. That was purely why Nigeria signed. If they dragged because they were big brother, they dragged because other people would have gone ahead, but they could not go because they did Nigeria to imbibe. Nigeria knows, they know. So, but immediately the next step was taken. What was the first step that was taken? Move Secretariat to Ghana. Do you know why? If Nigeria was sitting at that table, they can't do that. But immediately you step out and allow, please, this also we should take this home. In our home, when there are crises, don't move out. Stay within. It is when you stay within that you overcome the challenges. And it becomes sweeter. Nigeria dragged this leg. Quickly, that was what I was talking about political ties, political diplomacy. Ghana took it. And then what, to punish Nigeria, they said Nigeria is 34th member. To punish Nigeria, they took Secretariat to Ghana. So Nigeria had no choice. Sign. So we will stay inside and die inside. That is what it was. I had the privilege of discussing with people who were in the panel, who represented Nigeria. They say, when you leave the shores of this nation, and I tell you, Nigerians are the good ones. Nigerians are the good ones. They are the knowledgeable ones. When you go, you are calling me a doctor here. Go to international conferences. Hardly you see many people from other countries that are doctors. They come with psychology that is already timid. But the Nigerians come with ego. In fact, more than what he even has. So, already we are always a threat. So when these issues like this come, the gang up against Nigeria is very hard. The gang up against Nigeria has learned people. That is beyond Nigeria's side of political ground. But we have gone beyond that. We have come into the system. The next question was that he said that is poor market. Well, of course, we mentioned the goods that are for poor countries. They remain the same thing. Primary products, extractive industry, which the price are not even within your reach. They are the ones who determine it. Today the price is high, tomorrow it just crashes. And we cannot do anything. That's why there is this push now for complexity theory. That try to make your businesses complex, your productions complex, across the different strata of production. So if one is dropping, another one can stabilize it. Then you talk of Aliko Dangote is a capitalist. Forget it. When the government negotiates, they talk with Aliko Dangote, they talk with Adenuga. These are capitalists. What they know first is their self-interest. They have not changed as it was in the literature, so it is even today.
But they also had value.
Yes, they have value. That's why the government cannot go without it. But the value they take from the government is not altruistic.
We're running out of time.
It's not altruistic. So Dangote said that as a manufacturer. And the essence of that is the fear. But I tell you, the SMEs in Nigeria can spread their goods across the West Africa and the African continent. But the SMEs do not have a voice. It is the Dangotes they relate with, the Adenuga they relate with. And their fear is quite okay. They are selling things for us at higher cost because they are operating in the high cost environment. And when you integrate, there are other persons that will come and...
I'll get back to you, Doctor. Our time is running out. Please, Mrs. Emmanuel, how can entrepreneurs here who are interested in does the NEPC do? And what programs do you have that they can get
It's
into?
quite simple. To go into export business is quite simple, but a step after the other. You need to have the interest first. You need to be seriously committed that, irrespective of whatsoever happens, you are committed to this cause and you are getting to the end. You need to have a registered business, limited liability company. And to register your business on NEPC, with NEPC, is seamless. You can do it by yourself once you have your your limited liability certificate. You can do it at the corner of your room. Within 24 hours, you have your export license. It's quite simple. Then, NEPC, having done that, you can now let us know, irrespective of whichever state that you register. We have programs for beginners. We have export for beginners program that will take you through the rudiments from the product sourcing to the product production to marketing of your product to logistics and what have you. It is that simple. And then we have programs for youths particularly, and we have programs for women as well. So nothing is delaying us. Our office is at room 14, Ministry of Trade. So you can reach out to us for further inquiries.
You can take that from her. She's a trade advisor, a promotion advisor of the NEPC for your state. Our last question, what do we need to do? We have highlighted a lot of benefits of the AfCFTA for Nigeria and the AfCFTA. What do we need to do to ensure that the government takes it more seriously?
On our individual parts, we need to be very articulate about what we want to do. It's not just a question of saying it. I want to. Put your hands on it, into action. Be ready and let people see what you are doing. And then in terms of government support, I think governments will need to give more support to SMEs that are really interested and ready to do businesses. And in terms of infrastructure, power is the major thing. I think government needs to do more about power to be able to ensure that small businesses are able to thrive well. The use of solar energy is not so much. People are just embracing it in Nigeria, but I feel it will go a long way to support MSMEs in Nigeria. And then the issue of logistics, government is trying a little, and it could get better more.
Dr. Sam, the same question to you. What do we need to do to ensure that the government, because there's a lot of benefits to Nigerians, if Nigeria takes the FTA more seriously? So what do we do?
The truth of the matter is that at this point, doesn't even have a choice any longer. The choice is closed with your signature and ratification. So you just need to wake up, big brother. Tap into your resources, tap into your youth, your human resource, and your SMEs. Nigeria is good to go. There are enormous benefits Nigeria can derive from. We are bold. Even our physical presence opens market for us. Nigeria can get out there and succeed. Economic, inclusive growth will come to the country. I'm sure of that.
Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful and smooth session. So our next speaker will actually be live on Skype. I don't know, I want to know, do we all have QR code reader on our phone? Okay, not to worry. Our next topic will be on is economic empowerment effective in poverty eradication. And our speaker is a legal practitioner, is a public policy and development analyst. He worked with law firms, startup and media and production companies, a think tank and research and advocacy firm. His interests range from political economy to regulation, behavioral science, social psychology, and public affairs analysis to risk analysis. He's currently a senior research and policy analyst at Budget Lagos. I would like to present to you Mr. Vaala Kwaga. So we'll be watching him live on Skype on the screen. So.